Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
The city of East Point hit with a federal lawsuit. The feds say the way council is elected is not fair to minorities. Tonight, they're demanding big changes.
All right, Sean, also a live look now inside Cass Tech High School, where tonight a school board meeting marks the moment a lot of people have been waiting 7 years to happen.
And we're learning more about a body found on a runway at City Airport. Thanks for being with us for the news at 5. A shocking discovery today at Coleman Young International.
In fact, police are still trying to piece together exactly what happened. They do know no crime has been committed here. Jason Colthorpe live this evening at City Airport with what we do know. Jason.
It's very strange to say the least, Devin. And I think, you know, when you hear a body on the runway, and it happened right behind me here at City Airport, you think maybe someone wandered out there, perhaps got hit by a plane on the runway, or a body even fell from a plane. But in this case, the explanation is just as surprising as the discovery. A 911 call to DPD around noon led officers to a runway at City Airport where a man's body was found.
Appears to be an unfortunate accident at this time.
What specifically makes you think it's an accident?
Because we see no signs of trauma on the body.
No trauma and also no pants. Sources tell us the man's pants were down. As for how he got there, police say he may have gotten in from a cemetery that from above you can see borders the airport.
That gate right there is accessible from the cemetery. And of course, you can jump that gate or push through it.
The victim is a black man in his 40s or 50s. He did have ID, and police are now in the process of notifying family and investigating whether the man had mental or drug problems.
City Airport does have security out here that watches for trespassers, but this particular incident was not picked up.
Not picked up for maybe 6 or 7 hours, which is how long police think he was there. Now, about 2:40 is when police finished their investigation. The body was removed and the airport here was reopened. At Coleman A. Young International Airport, Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
Now, Jason, it's not exactly Metro Airport, but how are they explaining the 6 to 7 hours of nobody seeing it?
Yeah, obviously not a commercial airport, so a lot less traffic. But however, I talked to an employee who says they do routine runway checks here.
Yeah.
I called the city to ask about that. Why wasn't it seen in one of those checks? Maybe why wasn't it even seen when it happened? The city could only say the entire incident is under investigation. Devin.
All right, Jason. Kim.
African Americans make up about 1/3 of the population here in East Point, yet no African American candidate has ever won a contested race for city council. Now, is that due to bad luck or possible discrimination? Tonight, it's clear where the federal government stands on this issue. Sean Lay is live with a lawsuit filed today claiming the deck is stacked against minority candidates. Sean, what's this all about?
This is a powerful lawsuit, Kimberly. Good evening to you. Let's also make this clear. No one here in East Point has brought a complaint to City Hall. These are the feds coming in, and they're making a big demand.
I didn't know that going in. I just know I wanted to make a difference.
Monique Owens is a Wayne County Sheriff's deputy. She lives in East Point. After her car was stolen, she decided to run for council. If she won, she did not know that she'd become the first African American to serve on East Point City Council. She lost by 816 votes.
As a Wayne County officer, I want to make a difference in where I lived at, because I make a difference where everybody else live at. Of course, I want to make a difference where I live.
The Justice Department has been studying East Point and sees a problem. The feds arrived at City Hall with this map of the city. They divided the city up into voting districts.
They call this in their correspondence and letter, this is the black district.
The mayor and council members are elected at large. The Justice Department wants the immediate formation of what they're calling a black district. Today, the Justice Department sued the city, demanding that the districts be formed to give minority candidates a better chance.
To make it a 4-district city with one district that they've carved out based on racial data and racial profiling says that that's compact enough to define it as, in their terms, not mine, the black district.
At a recent meeting, voters called it federal overreach.
They're creating justice without a crime being committed.
The Fed's goal, as East Point changes, representation should change also.
The council should reflect the community.
Back here live in East Point, I want to bring another voice into this discussion here. Pastor Frank Collins Jr., he's with Breath of Life Christian Church here in East Point. Just got off the telephone with him. He's disagreeing with what the Department of Justice is doing, saying you're trying to fix something that is not broken. The city here has 21 days to answer this lawsuit. If they wanted to make these changes on their own, it would be a change to the charter, Kimberly. That would be up to a vote to the people. DOJ has come in and said, don't have a vote. We want you to make these changes now. Back to you.
A controversial situation here, Sean. I'm wondering, though, how much will all of this cost the city? Surely the city of East Point doesn't have the money to fight the feds.
Yeah, the city manager says they just got back on a good footing financially. To not fight it and to sign a consent decree with the DOJ coming in, be about $10,000 in legal fees. To go to court and fight this, you're looking at $50,000 to $100,000.
A lot of money. All right, Sean.
Well, bristling with some anger and some confidence, Donald Trump today blasted what he called fake news, referring to details of unverified allegations that the Russian government might have compromising information that they could then use in turn to exert influence over the president-elect. Steve Handelsman explores how that issue nearly drowned out the announcement of Trump's plan to avoid conflicts of interest in office. Steve?
Thanks. Good evening. The headline on conflicts is the president-elect is stepping down from the company that owns this tower. He reacted with sheer anger to the unconfirmed report that Vladimir Putin has something on him.
Donald Trump.
Denying that Russia has anything that could embarrass him, charging U.S. intelligence might have leaked that report, and blasting the media that carried it were Donald Trump's first points in his first news conference since summer.
And I think it's a disgrace that information would be let out. It's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen. Sick people. And they put that crap together.
Mr. President, singling out BuzzFeed and CNN who carried it.
You are fake news.
The billionaire made news about conflicts of interest. He has allowed them as president. But Trump will give the U.S. Treasury the profits from his D.C. hotel in a building leased from the government. He revealed his sons will take over the Trump business. He will get limited information, and there will be no new foreign Trump deals. Ivanka Trump steps down. Her father says he hopes after 8 years, Don Jr. and Eric have grown the Trump organization.
If they do a bad job, I'll say, you're fired.
Trump did concede that Russia stole Democratic Party emails.
As far as hacking, I think it was Russia.
He claimed Vladimir Putin will stop ordering cyber attacks on the U.S. when it's Trump in the White House.
Russia will have much greater respect for our country when I'm leading it than when other people have led it. You will see that. Russia will respect our country more.
Other nations, too, said the president-elect. But Donald Trump's lack of respect for some of the news media and for U.S. intelligence was on display here, just 9 days before he's sworn in as president. From Trump Tower, New York City, Steve Handelsman, Local 4.
All right, Steve. Well, quite an improvement over last night when we had more than 30,000 homes without power. Now down to about 5,000 according to DTE.
Considerable improvement.
Yep.
Let's check in with Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hey, not all wine and roses tonight. We've got rain coming, and believe it or not, possibly some thunderstorms as well. 4 live radar just now picking up a pretty intense downpour, small one right here around Tecumseh. Even though there's no lightning strikes with this right now, you look out here to the southwest, and there's a cluster of storms that's coming in out of northern parts of Indiana, just now starting to approach Coldwater, and we're seeing some more scattered showers around Jackson and possibly getting into Livingston County as well. We've got some warmer air to the south, and we're not done warming up. In fact, we're at 44 in Detroit. Toledo's already at 51, and you can see all the 50s down here. It looks like there will be some 50-degree readings as we head towards 11 o'clock or midnight tonight, and those temperatures will kind of max out at that point. So the rain moves in, could be some rumbles of thunder, does not look like we'll see anything severe. Coming up, we'll look at your 4-zone forecast and break down tomorrow afternoon's temperatures, which look a whole lot different, guys.
Ben. The head of the Environmental Protection Agency says Flint's water is improving. This comes after a meeting Tuesday with researchers and Flint officials in Chicago. EPA Director Robert Kaplan said the consensus on the Flint water system is that it is improving overall. He also said what was a crisis is now looking much like other cities. However, the Michigan DEQ said residents should not expect a declaration that unfiltered water is safe anytime soon.
It happened 1 year ago. There's no water, there's no filter at many stations. people outside tell us that they feel helpless, they feel stranded.
Now Help Me Hank demanding more answers for the people of Flint.
What would you say to the people in Flint?
Now we're back in Flint, revealing new information about the battle for clean water and showing you what happened to the young boy who became the face of this crisis. Tonight at 11.
All right, for some, a celebration 7 years in the making, getting underway at the Detroit Public Schools Community District.
Jermont Terry is live at Cass Tech High School, hosting the first public meeting of a fully empowered school board since 2009. Jermont?
Yeah, Kimberly, this newly selected school board will get officially sworn in tonight. Now, you might remember back in November, 63 people ran for the 7 seats for this board. If you take a look behind me here at Cass Tech, you can see that a few people are still trickling in. As you mentioned, this is the first time the new school district, which is now back under local control, will gather. While tonight's meeting is slated to have many formalities such as setting up bylaws and selecting officers, the interim superintendent Alicia Merriweather says this is the big step in rebranding and looking towards the future. The new board becomes part of the new district, and you might recall Governor Snyder signed into law a $617 million package back in June of 2016 to essentially bail out the district and get things back in order. But back live here, you can see that people are signing up. There is somewhat of a packed crowd in the auditoriums, people still coming in. They do expect to have official comment from the public tonight. Now, one order of business for this new school board is that they will likely, the first order of business, they have to pick essentially a new superintendent. They could go with the interim superintendent that's been on the job for a little over a year now, or go with someone new. I'm going to pop my head back into this meeting that just started about 15 minutes ago, and then have an update for you coming up on Local 4 News at 11. For now, reporting live from Cass Tech, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
Hey, Jermont. Still ahead, a new united push by doctors involving the HPV vaccine, how they're trying to convince parents of the benefits that this shot has for children.
Also, we found a way in, but getting out a little more complicated. Why Detroit police want you to take a closer look at this video. Rod.
In the ever-changing world of the automotive industry, there's one thing that seems to be getting more similar by the day.
Designing gets more difficult. Designers would say challenging.
So what causes all of these great-looking vehicles to, well, look like another one? We'll have the answer and some discussion about it ahead.
Tonight, new at 6.
A DTE worker robbed at gunpoint while guarding a downed wire. At 6 o'clock, the surveillance video that captures a frightening confrontation.
And 2 local teenage lacrosse players learned their punishment for killing a guinea pig during a pre-game match ritual.
But first, here at 5, the North American International Auto Show, of course, a car lover's paradise. You get to see all those shiny fenders and bumpers and great designs. But there's a trend that car makers are desperately fighting. Our business editor, Rob Maloney, is looking to see how they're doing. Rod, what are you seeing?
Well, Devin, it's the problem of sameness. And what we're talking about here is, yes, there's a lot of great design here, but it's difficult to fight regulation. And try as they might, they have to come up with some solutions to that. And so here we are.
When you find a design style you really like, say the Cadillac Escala that's not even on the road yet, and you're willing to spend big money, you might find it disappointing to see a less expensive option like the Lincoln Reserve looking much the same. And then you see something even less expensive like the Kia Stinger, and you say, what is up with that? Cars.com executive editor Joe Weisenfelder offers a reason.
There's no question the hunt for better efficiency has affected the shape of cars for aerodynamics. High trunks behind the rear window, kind of smooth surfaces all around.
Yes, the requirement to get higher and higher gas mileage means everyone looks for the same aerodynamics, which don't change. So an Audi Q5T Quattro can look very much like a Ford Escape, which looks a lot like a GM Trax. There's another reason, too.
Safety has had the same effect. Things like pedestrian protection the requirements have affected the shape of bumpers and how much they stick out.
So where does a frustrated designer or car buyer look for distinctive differences? Well, to the grills, like this gorgeous Lexus sedan, or the headlamps you find in the new GMC Terrain SUV. Auto analyst Chubba Chetta.
And that's why we see so much emphasis on grills, headlights, and taillights, because those are the things you can play with and provide some variation. The basic sheet metal, other than changing where you put the creases, is going to be fundamentally the same.
Now here's a classic example. This is the Kia Stinger. This is one of the hottest show cars we have. I've got analysts talking about this car, but if you look closely, you can see a little bit of a, a Jaguar. You might see a Fusion. I mean, the language here is very similar for the reasons that we talked about. And so, if you want to see some different design, look for the headlights and the grills. Reporting live from the North American International Auto Show, Rod Malone, Local 4.
It's tricky. When they break out of it, you get the gremlin. I mean, it's tough. This Friday, one of the biggest fundraisers in Metro Detroit takes place right here at Cobo. If you can't make it to the charity preview, we've got it all covered for you. You can catch the charity preview special this Friday from 7 to 8 live here on Local 4.
Volkswagen has pleaded guilty to emissions cheating, prompting it to pay more than $4 billion in criminal and civil penalties. U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch says it was one of the biggest clean air penalties ever achieved. As it stands right now, the total cost of the scandal in the United States is $20 billion, making it one of the most costly corporate scandals in history. 6 Volkswagen executives were also charged today in the scandal. One of them, Oliver Schmidt, was arrested last week in Florida.
Our weather has been nothing if not changeable. We've been through a number of different phases.
It's kind of like a roller coaster. You're right. Yeah.
Yes, and now we're on the upswing. We're going to hit the 50s.
And we're going to crash after this.
That's exactly.
Yes.
We're looking at the bottom of the hill.
And don't worry, it'll be plenty cold when everybody goes to charity preview.
Naturally.
In their dresses.
I think that's a bylaw of some kind.
It is. And Mother Nature's going to stick to it. Want to show you the temperature trend tonight. Usually we've already seen our high temperature for the day, but we're going to continue rising until a cold front comes through. Look at these numbers tick upwards. And this is all while we're going to be seeing showers and maybe a few thunderstorms too. The model tries to get us as high as 57 at a couple spots. Probably won't get there, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 51, 52. And then by tomorrow morning, we're going to be right back down, maybe not to 33, but I think we'll be in the mid 30s for starts and for the bulk of tomorrow with steady temperatures. So we're 44 right now. There's not much of a wind out there south at 7. It will start increasing tonight ahead of that front. We may see some gusts that get up to the 30-mile-an-hour range, but I don't think that we're going to see anything damaging as far as what we saw last night. Even though we are anticipating that some of these thunderstorms are going to be around, they should not be severe. Got a very small but intense little downpour here coming out of Tecumseh, heading out towards Ann Arbor. But look at this complex of storms towards Coldwater. See quite a bit of lightning there. We've even got a few more out there towards Benton Harbor. That's obviously not going to affect us, but we could be seeing the remnants of these start to make it into our west zone here within the next hour. So probably a hit and miss shower around at least in the evening hours. The widespread rain we're expecting not going to be in here until about 10, 11 o'clock tonight. That will exit shortly after midnight and will generally be dry tomorrow, except just starting to get some of that moisture bubbling up here in our south zone, maybe our southern metro zone tomorrow. Not going to last very long. Generally, this is going to be a shower, maybe a little bit of a mix of precipitation, but most of us are just going to stay cloudy and dry tomorrow. Clouds clear out a bit on Friday night, or Friday morning, I should say, and that is going to allow temperatures to drop as we go into the weekend. So 52 for a midnight high temperature. How about that in mid-January? Late showers, thunder possible, and again, some of those gusts could be 30 miles an hour plus as we get into tonight. Let's look at the afternoon temperatures tomorrow in your 4-zone forecast. Remember, these numbers are going to be relatively steady through the day. 34, 35 in the city of Detroit tomorrow afternoon. South zone temperatures, we could be seeing a couple 36, 37s here, especially down towards the Ohio state line, but cooler numbers in our west zone, down below freezing in the afternoon here in Howell and Brighton, and everybody, of course, on their way to a very cold night, but already below the freezing mark here in our north zone as we get into tomorrow afternoon. Here's your 7-day forecast, and as promised, here come the cold temperatures. 28 for a high on Friday. Morning lows at least in the teens there for a Saturday morning, but we will rebound to the 40s next week. In fact, closer to 50 on Tuesday
Some rebound,
Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah. All right, Ben. Well, they don't call him man's best friend for nothing. What this dog did that likely saved its owner's life after an outdoor mishap that was, we would note, pure Michigan.
Can't wait to hear that one. Plus, disturbing images of an attempted abduction of a child. And the most shocking part may be where it happened. That's next. Welcome back. Oklahoma City police are left in disbelief after a man apparently tried to abduct a child in front of hundreds of people. It happened during a youth wrestling tournament. Police say these chilling images show the man grabbing the 8-year-old boy in a bear hug. then attempting to run off with the boy. The child's mother says the would-be kidnapper dropped her son because of his kicking and screaming. Well, now police want to know who this man is and what his intentions were.
We want to make sure that we're looking at this carefully. Obviously, this was a suspicious looking event, so we want to talk to this person. We don't know what this man's intentions were, but we certainly want to find out.
Police say they hope to find the man before he tries this again.
Detroit police are hoping you can help them catch a crook who was caught on camera breaking into a store. Happened last Friday in the 1600 block of Harper, right by I-94 on the east side. You see here a thief breaking through the front window and then climbing into the business, grabs a couple of things, puts them in a black bag, and then leaves through the window. If you recognize this man or have any information about what happened, police would love you to call them. Detroit police also ask for your help in identifying the suspect caught on camera breaking into a liquor store. Happened just after 6 a.m. on New Year's Day at a liquor store on East Warren near Cadieux. This video shows the man moments after he broke through the ceiling, shown stealing several items before leaving. As you can see, he was wearing a green and yellow jacket and black pants. If you recognize this man, Detroit police are asking you to call.
New at 5:30.
A Detroiter battling the water department over a situation that has not been resolved for months. We investigated. You'll see how we come to the rescue.
Plus, Donald Trump insisted again today that Mexico will pay for the border wall he wants to build. Mexico's former president has quite a bit to say about that. You'll see his fiery response on social media.
This first day of the new Michigan legislature was about families and celebrating, but also tax reform. I've got that coming up.
It's dinner time. Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5:30 starts now.
Michigan's newly elected legislature getting down to business in Lansing for almost the 100th time. It is the 99th legislature in the state's history, and Michigan's lawmakers will face some pretty big debates in the coming weeks.
Our Steve Garagiola traveled to the state capitol. We caught up with a history-making lawmaker from Inkster and found out what your lawmakers will be working on. Steve.
Michigan's 99th legislature called into session today. And while this was a day for family and celebrating, they also got right down to business.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States?
The first order of business was to swear in the new state representatives. Republicans maintain their edge with a 63-47 majority. The new Speaker of the House is third-term Republican Tom Leonard from DeWitt. The new class includes 40 freshmen. Among them, the youngest state rep, 21-year-old Jewel Jones from Inkster.
It's just good to have all our family and friends out with us to enjoy this first moment. And I mean, I'm just excited. I'm looking forward to it. It's a lot of great people here, and I'm ready to get to work.
This term, the House will take on some controversial issues, including eliminating pensions for new school teachers and tax reform. Republican Lee Chatfield from Northern Michigan sponsoring the first bill of the new legislature to reduce state income tax to 3.9% and eventually phase it out completely.
The promise was that it would be reduced back to 3.9 by 2015. However, that promise was never delivered on. I believe it's our duty as the legislature to deliver on that now and provide tax relief for our people.
State Senator Jack Brandenburg will introduce his own proposal to eliminate the income tax and raise sales tax. Both teacher pensions and taxes could prove to be contentious issues with the governor. I'm Steve Garagiola, Local 4.
Donald Trump holds his first press conference as president-elect, addressing some contentious subjects like building a wall between the U.S. and Mexico.
I don't feel like waiting a year or a year and a half. We're going to start building. Mexico, in some form, and there are many different forms, will reimburse us, and they will reimburse us for the cost of the wall. That will happen.
Former Mexican president, Vicente Fox Quesada, took to quit Twitter following Trump's news conference and didn't hold back his disdain for the incoming leader, saying, quote, "Neither today nor tomorrow nor never Mexico will pay for that stupid wall. If Trump wants a monument to his ego, let him pay for it." Meantime, Trump's pick for Secretary of State in the hot seat on Capitol Hill, former ExxonMobil CEO Rex Tillerson, appeared before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee to begin the confirmation process. Tillerson spent much of the morning answering questions about U.S.-Russia relations.
We must also be clear-eyed about our relationship with Russia. Russia today poses a danger, but it is not unpredictable in advancing its own interest. Our NATO allies are right to be alarmed at a resurgent Russia.
Tillerson did fall short of calling Russian President Vladimir Putin a war criminal when asked about Russia's military actions in Syria. He also called economic sanctions against Moscow a powerful tool, but warned they could send a weak message to the Kremlin and could harm American business interests.
The hunt is on for a person who may be able to help solve a murder mystery.
Take a look at your screen. Police need help identifying this person of interest. The deadly shooting happened early Sunday morning in the area of Canfield and 2nd in Midtown. The 23-year-old male victim was at a local business when he left with his friend. He was approached by an unknown person. There was a struggle, and the victim was shot multiple times. If you have any information, contact police.
Up north, a dog is being hailed as a hero after his owner slipped and fell in the snow. It was New Year's Eve in Emmett County. Bob went out to get some firewood. He slipped and fell and laid there in the snow for 20 hours paralyzed. But officials say Bob's dog was by his side the entire time, licking his face and hands and laying on top of his owner. Doctors at McLaren Hospital say the dog saved the owner's life.
I don't think he would be living unless the dog were there. The dog kept him warm. The dog kept his extremities warm. He didn't have any frostbite. And it was 24 degrees that night.
And Bob had been screaming and screaming for help, so much so that he lost his voice. And when he did, the dog then took over and started barking until neighbors came to call 911. Extraordinary instincts kicking in, isn't it?
Tonight, a 91-year-old veteran is celebrating a legal battle 68 years in the making. Air Force vet Ed Spiris says he was kicked out of the military back in 1948 because he was gay. Spiris was eligible to apply for a discharge upgrade to honorable in 2011 following the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, but his application was denied twice. The Veteran Services Organization filed a lawsuit against the Air Force on Spiris' behalf and won.
We hope that in doing so, the military, the U.S. military, may send a message to other gay veterans that their service was appreciated and is recognized with equality under the law.
Well, Spiris finally can get his dying wish, having a military funeral.
Now to good health tonight. There's a new effort to increase the number of children being vaccinated against HPV.
But it's not pediatricians behind the effort. Our Dr. Frank McGeorge is here to explain who is speaking out in support of this vaccine.
Well, it's cancer doctors, as a matter of fact. In fact, 69 cancer centers issued a joint statement supporting the new CDC guidelines for the HPV vaccine. They are encouraging parents to think of this shot as protection against 6 forms of cancer.
We don't want those patients to become our patients in cancer centers. And this is the way to do it, prevent cancer through vaccination.
Dr. Electra Paskett of the Ohio State Comprehensive Cancer Center wants parents to understand how common HPV truly is.
There are over 200 of these viruses, and many of us adults will have been infected with an HPV sometime in our lifetime.
In some people, that infection leads to cancer.
What these viruses do is they entangle themselves in cellular DNA, and instead of the cells producing correctly the right cells, they'll start to produce weird cells, which then become cancer cells.
HPV vaccines can help prevent the majority of cervical, anal, and genital cancers and some throat cancers. But in the U.S., just 41% of girls and 28% of boys have completed the recommended doses. These cancer doctors hope to change that.
The HPV vaccine has nothing to do with sex. It's all about preventing cancer. This vaccine has been tested on millions of people, and the side effects are no greater and no more severe than any of the other childhood immunizations.
The CDC recently changed the recommendations, finding only 2 doses are just as effective as 3 in children under age 15. Now, the joint statement was inspired by the White House Cancer Moonshot program, which is an effort to work together toward eliminating cancer. Back to you.
Great talk. Well, a lot of us like to complain about Michigan's brutal winters. It's really just about comfort, really. Right. If you're a kid without a coat, the cold is a real problem.
So real. Local 4's Kim DiGiulio shows us how an automaker is driving efforts to help Metro Detroit kids and also warming their hearts at the same time.
There's no getting around it. It's cold out, but it's January and it's Michigan, so it's expected. However, the truth is not all children here in Michigan have a coat to keep them warm this winter, but that's why Hyundai Motors is stepping up to help. And they're stepping up big time by donating 1,000 winter coats to Orchard's Children's Services. Today, 300 of those coats were donated to children who needed them at Pace Academy in Southfield.
There's nothing like a warm winter coat in a cold Detroit day.
This is the 7th annual coat drive that Hyundai has done here in Michigan during the North American International Auto Show.
We love to give back to the communities in which we work and do business.
The principal at Pace Academy says that too often she sees some of her students not dressed appropriate for our brutal winters.
Kids usually have a wrap. Sometimes it's not sufficient for the weather, so having this drive helps us to know and understand that our students, even the ones that may not be able to afford the big coat or just have the little jacket that concerns us, are well prepared for the weather.
And 8th grader Amaya Pillow sees it from her classmates.
Even like some of my friends come in and we're like, you need a coat, you know, it's getting cold. We live in Michigan, so you never know what the weather's gonna be like.
And now all these children at Pace Academy have what they need to get through a Michigan winter. And hey, not to mention, these are pretty darn cute too, right? Reporting here in Southfield, I'm Kim DeGiulio, Local 4.
I love watching little kids struggle with coats. They just, you know, where's the arm go? And then trying to figure going in circles. Yeah, it's fun. Still ahead, if it isn't, or is it a taco if it isn't in a corn or flour shell?
Good question.
Well, no, according to Taco Bell, that makes it a chalupa. But this one is encased in fried chicken, and some people are having trouble containing their excitement about it on social media.
Plus, a group of scientists decide to name a new species of primate after one of their favorite Star Wars characters. But they've got a better reason than you might think. Hank.
A frustrated Detroiter battling the city, dealing with a problem that has dragged on and on. He calls Help Me Hank to investigate. We come to the rescue. Coming up new tonight.
New at 6.
Robbing someone who's there to protect you. That's pretty low.
We're going to be relentless until we get this guy.
Coming up at 6, how the robber almost killed himself, all for the equivalent of a bag of chips.
This Frazier man in court, in cuffs, and in trouble for what he put on Facebook.
In light of what's going on in today's society, we take these threats very serious.
Who he threatened coming up on Local 4.
A pesky problem that was never resolved, now getting the attention it's deserved.
Concerned Detroiters tried for months to get the city to fix a drain problem in his backyard, but the problem persisted until Help Me Hank got involved. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester got to work to figure out why it was taking so long.
The man you're about to hear from, a lifelong Detroiter. He loves this city, but he felt like he was being ignored. He needed help, so he called us to investigate.
This is a hole that goes way down. In fact, I stepped in it.
Using a cane, Max Chambliss shows us just how deep the holes around the catch basin in the backyard of his Victoria Park home really are.
As you can see, it's starting to create a sinkhole. That's pretty deep there.
Max tells me he started calling DWSD back in March. These caution signs put in place, but that was it.
I have called and called and called, and they can't tell me why. It's terrible. Service.
After no return call following his last attempt to reach the department in November, Max called Help Me Hank.
Somebody could hurt themselves. I mean, it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. It's not going to build itself back up.
Our team reached out to DWSD, and within days, a crew was on site investigating the problem, determining that the catch basin had collapsed. They promised the repair would be made as soon as possible. And we're happy to report crews were out there finally fixing this nagging problem.
I didn't get anywhere for, I guess it was 5 or 6 months. So I called Help Me Hank, and then almost the next day, you know, there was some movement out here where they were getting ready to do some work. So I really appreciate it, and I think the other residents here appreciate it too.
In a statement, the Detroit Water and Sewerage Department said, quote, "We appreciate the customer and Help Me Hank bringing the catch basin matter to our attention. It's unacceptable the customer waited for several months to have the collapsed catch basin resolved. DWSD takes delivering prompt customer service very seriously and will review our complaint intake process as a result." I'm Hank Winchester. Help Me Hank. Back to you.
The Detroit Water and Sewage Department encourages everyone to report clogged catch basins, standing water, and leaking fire hydrants using the improved Detroit mobile app or by calling. We put the information on how to both on the Help Me Hank page of clickondetroit.com.
Great app. Keep it handy. Here's a look at what Kevin Dietz is working on for tomorrow at 5.
Post-traumatic stress disorder, a problem police are dealing with more often than ever before. A simple traffic stop can turn into a violent encounter.
Drop your keys, man. Come on, shoot me.
Putting police and the driver in danger. Now some police agencies are getting proactive, putting police through PTSD training today so they know how to handle an episode when it happens on the street.
I'm saying things they know are true and they've never heard before. It's never been harder to be a cop.
The Defenders tomorrow at 5.
Here comes the latest volley in the fast food wars. Taco Bell is replacing the typical taco shell with fried chicken.
Yes, it's very interesting. You're
Settle
looking
down, Bernie.
at the naked chicken chalupa. Taco Bell says it's the first taco shell made entirely with marinated all-white meat, antibiotic-free chicken. The shell is then packed with lettuce, tomatoes, cheddar cheese, and avocado ranch. The naked chicken
ranch?
Yeah, everything's better with ranch. The Naked Chicken Chalupa will launch nationwide beginning January 26th.
And let's check into the Twitter sphere where people have been taking time to express their excitement like this guy. He says, Taco Bell fried chicken shell chalupas go on sale January 26th, so I'll be camped out January 24th. 2 days in advance.
Jeremiah D., who says, will this herald the return of KFC's? Double down.